Hey there, everybody, and welcome to this Monday edition of OutKick Bets the Show. I am your host, Kayla Knierim. Joining me is my co-host, Mr. Arky Shea, over there in Alabama. Arky, how did our weekend go? How's it going on this Monday for you?
Our weekend was pretty good. A little less drama than I would have liked with the college football championship Friday and Saturday action. But made some pretty good money on the weekend. The NFL action was a little good, too. Got the Lions with a big win. That was pretty exciting for them. And I'll be honest with you, I can't complain because we're heading into another great stretch of sports betting and another good week of action to make some money. So all good to be above the daisies today, Kayla.
Absolutely, yes. Championship weekend did not disappoint. It was great to see those wins, and we'll talk about that in a second, how the college football playoff will play out. But before we get to all of that and our bets last night, we're going to start with some breaking news, some betting headlines. Miami has fired Manny Diaz, the coach. Miami went 7-5 this season and finished second in their division. They are bringing in Oregon head coach Mario Cristobal. Arky, give us your thoughts on this. It was kind of a savage move by Miami when you consider the way in which he was fired. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, so the rumors late last week started going that Mario Cristobal was going to take the job at Miami. Again, Manny Diaz was still the coach.
Yes.
Then Mario Cristobal lays a big giant egg against Utah. They asked Mario Cristobal after the game, and he says, Oregon's working on some things for me. So you think, okay. And then the rumors started flying even hot and heavier as Manny Diaz stayed as the coach. He was out on recruiting trips as of late yesterday. Still as the head coach, even though Miami, behind the scenes, had given Mario Cristobal until about noon today to say yes to the offer. Apparently they wanted it in Superstone in writing to get it because they finally got the yes from Mario Cristobal earlier today. And now Manny Diaz is out, which is a horrific way to handle this. I couldn't tell if Miami just wanted Manny Diaz to pass his key card to Mario Cristobal in the hall. Personally, I didn't know what they were doing. It was a really weird situation for Miami, who doesn't even have an athletic director right now. I don't.
Yeah.
Very bad situation. They're very bad situation for Miami, but they get a really good coach. I'll put it that way.
The whole coaching carousel this year has been very dramatic.
It has been. It is way This coaching carousel could have been like a 2-hour special on E!
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
It's right up my alley. All right, we're going to now head into a bet last night. Arky, I have a little bone to pick with you. Last week when I was previewing the Sunday Night Football Chiefs-Broncos game, I got laughed at by you when I said I was taking the Chiefs at -10. The number moved to -9.5. And oh, look at that, it hit because the Chiefs won 22-9. Andy Reid, by the way, is now 20-3 when coming off a bye. I saw this tweet that I had to read. Randy J said, the Chiefs have allowed 17 or fewer points in 5 straight games. No other NFL team this season has a streak of even 4 straight games. So somehow we went from having the worst defense in the league to maybe one of the best real quick. And I'd rather have it this way than the reverse. As far as the game, the offense still seems to be struggling a bit. They didn't get a ton of time on the field to dazzle us thanks to the Broncos' insanely long drives. Patty was 15 of 29 and just 140 yards and 1 interception. Harrison Butker really carried the team, having 10 of those 22 points last night. Dirty Dan, my guy, saved the day coming up big with a pick 6, which he likes to do particularly in those important division games. But again, both Kelsey and Hill had quiet nights with just 27 and 22 yards respectively. The offense still feels a little out of sync, but I'm not complaining. A win is a win in this league, and I'll take it over the Broncos any day. Javonte Williams, though, that dude. Guy had 23 carries for 102 yards for Denver and basically carried the team on his back. I had a great night. The Chiefs won, my bet hit, and I am a happy fan on this Monday. Give us your thoughts.
Well, if you want to be completely fair to the show itself, I technically was right. I was right. If you looked at every statistical category in that game, and you watched it itself, if it wasn't for a couple of really bad turnovers, good job, Teddy Bridgewater. Good job.
Right. Thank you.
That total should have covered. I mean, that spread should have covered. The Broncos should have covered that spread. But all credit goes to the one who actually wins the bet, which is Miss Kayla Knierim on this Monday afternoon. You get all the victory in the world. But I'll just tell you this. I wasn't wrong. I'd make that bet again. I'd make it again and again and again. That game should have covered in my favor, but you get the cash, so congratulations to you. But, you know.
I don't want to gloat because, as I saw last week, things can go south in a hurry. And I actually got very nervous towards the end of the game because the Broncos on that final drive looked like they were going to score, and then that would have ruined everything. But it didn't. It hit. All is well. Let's move on. I got my bet, but yeah, not going to gloat because things can turn in a hurry. Yeah. All right, let's head over to the college football playoff. Stage is set. Of course, after championship weekend, Alabama in the number 1 spot, they will be taking on number 4 Cincinnati, who got in. We're so proud of them. And number 2 Michigan will face number 3 Georgia. Alabama right now the 13.5-point favorite, while Georgia is also the 7.5-point favorite in their game. I think the committee got it right. Round of applause to Cincy. I have no problem with Bama jumping Michigan. Honestly, I would love to see a Bama-Michigan national championship game. I think I said it on the show. Georgia didn't seem to play any teams this season that really challenged them in the way that Bama was going to, and it definitely showed over the weekend. So, Arky, looking at this, what are your thoughts?
Well, I first want to start with Georgia and Michigan because I think that could be a Goliath versus Goliath type matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Both teams are really, really, really strong defensively. In fact, all 4 of these teams are statistically really, really good defensively and have playmakers upon playmakers in the defensive backfield as well as on the line. So all 4 of those teams are going to bring some kind of thunder on that side of the ball. The offenses are obviously very, very different for each, and I think Georgia sort of got proven to be a little bit more of what we sort of thought that they should be throughout the season. They just never played a team that could take advantage of them offensively. Remember on the show we talked about Alabama being a 6.5-point underdog, and we thought, no, put money on Bama.
Nah.
Even though I thought Georgia would win the game, I thought Alabama would easily cover. You just don't bet against Nick Saban. So
Nope.
I'm really interested in Georgia, Michigan, because I think that's going to be a really, really, really close game because I don't know offensively what Georgia's going to be able to figure out over the next month that they already don't have figured out in their back pockets now. I mean, Stetson Bennett the 4th, he's fine, but he's been the same quarterback all season. He wasn't going to get better. He's a game manager, and when he has to go win the game, he doesn't do it. He can't do it. That's not his skill set. Alabama, Cincinnati. Let me say this first, Cincinnati. I'm rooting like hell for you, okay? I want you to make this game close, and I want you to win this game because I wanted to put all of the naysayers out of their misery when it comes to the group of 5 teams can't compete with the Power 5 teams and don't deserve to be in this playoff.
Yeah.
That said, Alabama's going to murder them. You cannot give Nick Saban a month to prepare for anybody. If he gets a month to prepare for anybody, he beats them by 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, it's happened against really good teams and against not so good teams. So I feel bad for Cincinnati because they're in a bad spot. If they had the 2 weeks in between to go from the semifinal to the final, maybe, but not the month, not the month in between. That's really a bad spot and too bad for them. So early looking ahead, I'd go ahead and load up on Alabama because they're gonna muck duck them big time.
Yeah, love you, Cincy, but I don't know that it's going to go well for them in this one, especially like you said when you give Nick Saban a month to prepare for a game. Michigan, Georgia is going to be obviously the one that is going to spark my attention. I again just don't think Georgia had enough true tests during the season and kind of like they didn't have an easy schedule, but they kind of were able to coast a little bit. And Bama being their first test, I think Michigan has definitely had some more challenging games in their season. So that's going to be appointment television for sure.
I think this does work out well for Georgia in one respect, which is they get this loss now. They get humbled a lot a bit by a really good Alabama team with all that kind of talent. And maybe now those who maybe have sniffing themselves a little bit can regroup, sort of figure out who they actually are, what they were not doing as well as they should have been doing, and be ready for their semifinal matchup coming up in a month. And then if they get that rematch with Alabama, they'll have less time sort of in between the games and maybe be able to be a little better for it. So I liked it better that Georgia if they lost this SEC championship game than opposed to they won it and Alabama maybe snuck in as the number 4, then they would have gotten murdered.
I was just going to ask 2 questions for you. Is this how you would have ranked the teams?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I would have liked Cincinnati 3 because I feel like undefeated means something still to me. Because do you know how many undefeated teams were in college football this season?
One?
Just Cincinnati. So I feel like that means something. That means something to me. But I understand why they would keep Cincinnati where they were, even though they beat Houston by 15.
A lot of people thought Michigan should have been first. Yes or no?
I agree. I think Michigan was a team that deserved to be first, based on especially the caliber of competition they beat in the last couple of games. I mean, Iowa's no slouch, and they just ran right through them, especially in the fourth quarter. They put that game way out of reach. Really proved my plus 11 wrong there for Iowa. So I think Michigan is a really, really good team and deserved it based on just going with the most recent victory. I think that win for me was a little more impressive than Alabama going from 3-1 to sit there and put Michigan all the way up to 1. I would have done it.
All right, and before we go to our game of the day, what is your prediction for the national championship? Who will we see?
I think it's going to be Alabama, Michigan. I think it is. Yeah.
All right, I'm right there with you. I would love that. All right, and now on to our game of the day, which of course is Monday Night Football. The Patriots, who are 8-4, 5-0 on the road, have not lost a game yet. That's impressive. At the Bills, who are 7-4 and 3-2 at home. New England currently sits in first place in the AFC East, and the Bills right behind them. Buffalo, the 2.5-point favorite as it stands, with the total here at 41. This ought to be a great game, as the Pats are on a 6-game winning streak and the most in the NFL right now. Arky, do you know what two teams are right behind them?
Who?
As far as winning streaks? The Chiefs and Miami Dolphins. They are currently on 5-game winning streaks. Didn't see that coming. For what it's worth, the Saints are the worst right now, riding a 5-game losing streak, but that's neither here nor there. Arky, who do you like in this Monday Night Football matchup?
Well, to me, this game really breaks down into terms of the weather. Like, I can't do anything without paying attention to the weather tonight. There's a good chance we're going to get some lake snow tonight in Orchard Park, and I'm really excited about seeing the game. It's sort of why you've seen this total go from 44 to 43, now to 41. It keeps going lower and lower and lower because the temperatures keep dropping. The forecast keeps saying you're going to see a lot of rain today in the early afternoon, some possible lake snow throughout the game. It's going to be really chilly. And check this out, winds from 20 to 40 miles an hour throughout the game. Like,
that's a no from me.
That's a no from me too, dog. Got to be honest with you. And I'm surprised that the number still stays this high. So I'll just go ahead and tell you now, take the under 41. Because these two teams are going to have to run it, and they're going to have to be able to execute that way to win. Mac Jones, despite how good he has been, if you pay attention to the numbers, New England's still in the top 10 when it comes to percentage of plays that they actually run the ball versus pass the ball, while Buffalo's down at 20th. In fact, if you look at the last 3 games, New England's third in the entire NFL in running plays versus passing plays as far as the percentage thrown, which is phenomenal. Like, they absolutely crush it and choose one side of the ball. And clearly, to be on this winning streak still means a lot to them. Buffalo, despite the number of runs that they have, they're still a pretty good rush offense when they commit to it, and they'll have to commit to it tonight. I think it's sort of a team that can keep the turnovers as few as possible. No one's going to be able to really overcome a bunch of these tonight in this game to win it. The kicking game is going to be kind of a mess and a disaster. So I really like the team that's going to be able to best run the ball tonight in this game to be able to win it. And I kind of like Buffalo to be able to stop New England's streak. They're going to lose the game at some point. I don't know who it's going to be against. It's probably going to be most likely against Buffalo, because Buffalo is the healthiest, best offensive team that they have played, and defensive team, by the way, throughout this winning streak. There have been other teams that have winning records and they're fine teams, but this is the best team that they have played. And they go to Buffalo to play this game in all of those adverse conditions. I'm going to lean Buffalo here for the money line straight to win this game.
Okay.
And I'm going to go the under 41 for the night for the total.
All right. I like that. The Bills are obviously, they've had time to prepare for this because the last game they played in was against the Saints on Thanksgiving, so they've had their rest for sure. But here's the thing, the Bills have been too inconsistent this year. I know they're 7-4, but they've been too inconsistent for me to have enough confidence in taking them over a team that has looked consistently great, who is now looking to pick up their 7th win in a row. The Bills last few games have gone win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. in their last 7. So I guess they would be consistently inconsistent. The Patriots' 6 straight wins. They are outscoring their opponents an average of 35-11 and have shut out their last 3 opponents in the second half completely. So they're doing pretty well on that end. I'm excited to see these young guns battle it out in Mac Jones and Josh Allen. Allen currently sits in 7th in passing yards, and he is tied for 3rd in touchdowns. Meanwhile, Jones isn't too far behind him, currently ranks 10th in yards and tied for 13 in touchdowns. So last season, the Bills won both of their games over the Patriots, but the good news is this year they get a quick turnaround as they play each other again in 2 weeks. So it'll be a quick one there. As for the spread, New England is 6-0 against the spread in their last 6, and the Bills are 4-0-1 in their last 5 against AFC East opponents. The total in this one hit the over in 6 of the Patriots' last 8 games. It is going to be cold, as you said, so the weather could absolutely play a factor, and I think it will. But I actually do kind of like the over here of 41. I know that sounds wild. I'm also going to go the opposite direction of you, and I'm going to ride with New England on the spread at plus 2.5. I just think they are on a roll right now. I know it's going to be at Buffalo and freezing, but New England's used to the weather. Yeah. It's nothing new to them. So give me New England plus 2.5.
Yeah, and they haven't really seen much of it this season. They had a really rainy game, obviously, against Tampa Bay, and that sort of messed with them a little bit, but that was a really tight game. Going on the road is something different. Listen, New England number 2 in the NFL when it comes to percentage of plays run on the road too. I could see where you're going with on that one. I could. All
right. That'll do it for our Monday Night Football matchup. Now on to our spotlight matchup. We are headed to the NBA, where the Nuggets, who are 11-11, 4-7 on the road, will visit the Bulls, who are 16-8, 7-4 at home. Bulls sitting at in second in the East. Right now, Chicago is the 4.5-point favorite with the total at 214. Arky, how are you playing this game?
Man, I'll tell you, Mitch is 16-8, and they're 16-8 against the spread too, 7-4 against the spread at home. Like this team, this Chicago Bulls team, is kind of studly. Like DeMar DeRozan, I think is 4th in the league in scoring right now. Zach LaVine is 7th. Yeah. They're the only team that has 2 top 15 scorers in the league on it, and it's Chicago. It's 700-year-old DeMar DeRozan, and it's Zach LaVine. Like, they're the dudes who are just scoring at will, and they're a great, great offense and a great, great defense. They're really consistent, top 10 when it comes to each. Chicago is really, really, really good this year, and Denver's come across some hard times lately. Denver has lost 7 of their last 9 games overall, and I know that they want to be able to sort of put that streak to the back burner at this time and try to get Nikola Jokic back into playing some really, really good ball. He's going to be fine, is Jokic. This game's going to be fine, I think, for Chicago. But I don't really like the total or the spread in this game. So I'm going to go to a prop play. Yeah, I'm going to go to a prop play in this game. And DeMar DeRozan literally could not be playing better basketball right now. In the last 7 or 8 games, he's putting up over 30 points a ton of times. Like, he's just really, really proficient with this game right now. So I can't bet against him. But I can bet against Zach LaVine, who he and DeMar DeRozan both have a prop bet on FanDuel of 25.5 points to score tonight. I think Zach LaVine goes under 25.5 points tonight. He's been a little more streaky, as opposed to DeMar DeRozan, who's just dropping buckets all over the place. So I'll take Zach LaVine to go under 25.5 tonight against that really good. Listen, Denver may be struggling, but they're still a really good defense. One of those two guys is going to struggle a little bit tonight. They're both not going to get 25 points. I think Zach LaVine's the guy that goes under, so I'm going to go Zach LaVine under 25.5 points tonight. And I'm going to stay away. I'm actually going to watch some of this on the side TV of the Bulls Nuggets because I'm really fascinated by this game and the Bulls in general.
That trusty side TV, always coming in clutch.
Yep.
All right. I'm looking at this one. Denver has won 2 of their last 5, while the Bulls have snagged 4 of their last 5, having won the last 3 straight, looking to pick up that 4th. In their last meeting, the Bulls got the dub over Denver, 114-108. And in that game, as we said, Zach LaVine led the Bulls in scoring with 36 points, while Aaron Gordon led Denver with 28. DeMar DeRozan still, however, leads the Bulls in scoring, averaging 26.4 points per game, as you mentioned. And Nikola Jokic still dominates in points, rebounds, and assists for the Nuggets. As for the numbers, when Chicago has been favored by 4.5 or more, which has occurred 7 times this season, they have covered in 6 of those games. Denver, meanwhile, has covered in 9 of their 22 games so far this season. So I'm going to stick with the Bulls in this one at -4.5. They are the better team with the better record, playing at home. And while no bet is safe, no bet is a safe bet, I do feel pretty good about taking them in this one. Denver is capable of getting wins over decent teams, but I'm just not feeling it for them tonight in Chicago.
Yeah, and Alex Caruso is going to be out in this game, which is a huge loss. Not huge, I'm joking. He's a guy you want to have on that team too. I could sort of. I mean, if I were to lean a side, I'd probably lean the Bulls, but I'm not playing it. I'll just play the prop play tonight.
That's fair. Don't fault you for that. Yeah. All right, moving on to our quick hitters of the day. Arky, where are you going with your quick hitter?
Big Ten basketball action. We got Illinois at Iowa. That's right. Iowa -3 tonight at home against Illinois. And Illinois is a really, really good team, but so is Iowa. I was watching Iowa and Purdue on Friday night, and Iowa was without Keegan Murray, who was their leading scorer on the season. He's had a bit of an ankle injury. And they got down by 19 in that game against Purdue. And Purdue thought they were going to ice away the last 8 or 9 minutes of that game, but not so, said the Iowa Hawkeyes, and they came back and played really, really well, got that game really close at the end, but fortunately for Purdue, who will be the new #1 team in the country, they pulled that game out and ended up winning by 7. Listen, for me, it's whether or not Keegan Murray plays.
Yeah.
So as of getting ready for this show and getting ready to produce and to broadcast it, I haven't read that Keegan Murray was going to be able to play. Fran McCaffrey, the head coach of Iowa, said that he's a little better than what he was on Friday. They were supposed to have practice yesterday, and he was going to see how he played, how he practiced. If Keegan Murray's available in this game, I really like Iowa to be able to win it. I'm not sure to cover, but I do like them to be able to beat Illinois. Illinois has been phenomenal. Like, Illinois, despite their couple of losses, like, they're now coming into their own. And Fran McCaffrey said that Kofi Cockburn's playing the best ball of his entire career. Like, he's averaging a double-double right now. He's averaging 25 and 10 a game. He is playing great basketball right now. And I tend to lean towards Illinois if Keegan Murray's not playing. So that's my caveat here. If Keegan Murray's playing, I'm taking Iowa -3. This line seems to indicate that they think Keegan Murray's going to play. So in that case, I'm going to take Iowa right now -3 to win the game tonight. But if something happens in the next couple hours and we find out Keegan Murray's out, then I'll definitely put on Illinois. So there's a small caveat there. But I do like Iowa at home. Iowa was undefeated until Friday night. They're a really good basketball team. And Illinois is a really good team, too. It's going to be a great matchup. We got a lot of good basketball on tonight, too, to be able to compete with a really good Monday Night Football game. So I'll find an iPad or something to watch a game on, to keep it on the background, because this one's one worth watching. So Keegan Murray plays, -3 Iowa. If not, taking Illinois money line all day.
Sounds like you need a third TV.
Listen, the wife will let me have it, yes.
When you said you were betting Big Ten basketball, I thought you were going to say Ohio State.
Listen, it's my fault if I keep touching the hot stove, right?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to look over to the NBA as 13-10 Memphis heads to Miami, who is 14-10, 6-3 at home. Miami here is the 5.5-point favorite with a total at 215. The Grizzlies have won 4 straight of their 5 of their last 7, including that absolutely disastrous game for my Thunder last week. I am still so upset about it. 152-79. Did you catch that one, Arky? 73-point difference. I absolutely hate rebuilding phases, but that's not why we're here today. While on the flip side, Miami has won just 2 of their last 5. Both of these teams, however, currently sit at 4th in the East and West, respectively. They last faced each other at the end of October, where the Heat took that game 129-103. But since that matchup, the Grizzlies have gone 10-7, so they've improved a bit. Jimmy Butler scored the team high of 27 points in said game, and he is currently listed as day-to-day with a tailbone injury. So that doesn't sound fun, by the way. And Ja Morant led the Grizzlies with 20, as he does most nights, averaging 24 a game for Memphis. Miami is 14-10 against the spread so far this season. The Grizzlies, however, have been the 4.5-point underdog 3 times this year and have covered in all 3 of those games. So I do like that. I would also lean the over in this one, as 8 of Memphis's last 10 games have gone over, as well as 5 of Miami's last 6. So these guys are putting up points. With all of that said, I'm going to take the Grizzlies at plus 5.5. It has nothing to do with the fact that I love Steven Adams, but that definitely helps. I just think they can either put up a win or at least hopefully make it close. I think Memphis is a better team than they were 2 months ago and will put up a better fight than the last time these two went head-to-head. So give me Memphis plus 5.5.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I got nothing on this game. I just don't have a really good feel for it. I do want to say that there's one guy's favorite basketball team on this show who did not lose by 73 in the last week, and that's my New York Knicks. So that was embarrassing. I can't believe that actually happened. By the way, they're going to go on national TV. I don't know if you heard the Jeff Van Gundy real quick audio, but he was on a game. I think it was the Friday Night Warriors game, if I'm not mistaken, when they rematched with the Suns, and he was talking about how you could not put that game on national TV because they just lost by 73. I think they were taking on the Pistons game. That their matchup with the Pistons is going to be on national TV, and he said you can't put that on national TV. That's embarrassing. The league needs to stand in and do something about it, despite all your young talent, by the way.
First of all, Jeff, rude, but also I get it. That was a disaster. I am still so upset. Sam Presti's going to turn it around. I mean, we've got a ton of how many first-round draft picks? So eventually, like in 20 years, we'll be great.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. Also something to look forward to are games to look out for as we head into the weekend. Look to the weekend, sorry. Arky, where are you looking at this weekend for your game to look out for?
Well, a big one for me, not just because it's my team, it's the Cowboys at Washington. Dallas against
Big
5
rival
points.
game.
Yeah, a big time game, and you would think Washington, they've been kind of poor and not good and just not playing well offensively or defensively, but you look up and they've won, I think, like 4 straight games all of a sudden, and like they've turned into a respectable football team. And again, It doesn't matter how good you look, it doesn't matter how bad you look, it just matters that you get the wins, and that's what they're doing. They held off Seattle last week. They beat Tampa during this winning streak. Like it's a bizarre looking Washington team to say the least. And the Cowboys are having to go to RFK Stadium or FedEx Field, I guess now, and to be able to play this game. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough because Taylor Heineke, whatever it is, he's got a little bit of mojo with that team. Like they're believing in him. They're playing really good football overall with them. They got a couple of players back recently from injury, including on the offensive side. They feel like that they're a team that's getting into their best football of the season, while the Cowboys need to hope that they continue doing that. They didn't look overwhelming against the Saints on Thursday Night Football, but they looked good enough. The defense looked really good, and they'll go against a better quarterback, I think, Taylor Heineke is, than Taysom Hill. How much better the team is, I don't know, apples and oranges really to kind of figure out. But that's the number I'm paying attention to right now. It's the Cowboys -5 going into Washington.
All right. I am looking to Atlanta at Carolina. Atlanta is 5-7, 4-2 on the road. Carolina 5-7, 2-4 at home. Carolina right now the 3-point favorite. Total is 43.5. This will be the second meeting for these two teams this season. The Panthers taking that first game at the end of October, 19-13. Cam is looking to pick up his first win back at Bank of America Stadium, and I feel pretty good about him getting it done on Sunday. The Panthers are coming off a bye and dropped 2 straight before that, so I'm guessing they are hungry, refreshed, and ready to go, hopefully. Meanwhile, Atlanta is coming off a 30-17 loss to the Bucks yesterday and have been struggling on both sides of the ball, a lot of which are due to injuries. But perhaps the biggest question mark in this game will be the recent firing of Panthers offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Senior offensive assistant Jeff Nixon will be stepping in for him for the remainder of the season. There's also the Christian McCaffrey factor, or lack thereof, because he is now out for the remainder of the season and was the Panthers' leading rusher. So not great. Moral of the story is both teams are not going into this at 100%. Atlanta is 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games, and the Panthers are 1-4 against the spread when playing at home against Atlanta, which I don't necessarily love since I will be taking Carolina at -3. Here's to hoping Cam and company will bring it in front of the home crowd. The total here feels a little too high for me to want to take it, so I'll just stick with the spread. Give me Carolina at home -3 in this divisional rival matchup.
Wow, you're already on that game. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the total's a little high here. I think both defenses play fairly well, although both these teams are really mistake prone. Like they make a ton of mistakes, penalties as well as turnovers. So when that
it's a very mediocre game.
Oh man, are you kidding me? Whew. That's the kind of game only his mother would love.
I just want to see Cam do well. I'm ready for him to just hit the gas on this one.
Yeah, well, he may be out of gas, to be honest with you.
Oh, shoot. Well, let's hope not. Also out of gas. We are out of gas today as the show is done. Thank you guys for tuning in to OutKick Bets, the show. That is Arky Shea. I am Kayla Knierim. As always, don't forget to make your picks at FanDuel.com/OutKick. Best of luck in your betting, friends, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one.